Hello and welcome to this week's episode of Chasing the Whimsy. I'm here with
Liam
and
Megan.
Yes, welcome back, Megan. This week's episode, tomorrow, Halloween. So I was trying to work with Liam on a name for the episode. And he had a pretty cool one, but I came up with Bootacular, like Chasing the Whimsies, Bootacular special, or Liam's first one was Halloween special.
It's brief, it's to the point. I like it.
Right? He's like, Halloween special, boom, done, check. And he's like back to playing games. Chasing the Ween.
That was mine.
I like that one a little bit. Gnome Ween.
Oh, that was mine. Sorry.
You like that one?
They were both mine.
And then Kelly threw out Gnomes and Nightmares. So I have no idea what we're going to name this thing. It's probably going to end up Halloween special. I'm going to be so upset
Kelly
about
would hit us with the alliteration, though.
All right. Yes. Like,
We got to talk about her the whole episode now.
right. She was going to be on, but she opted not to come on today. So we're just going to hang out. I think we're going to talk anything and everything Halloween and scary.
Kind of. No, never mind.
We only spent the last 45 minutes going over
outlining it. It's like, wait, what?
So everything Halloween.
Are we recording right now?
So I think let's start with the Halloween stuff. Favorite costumes growing up. Liam, are you going out this year?
Of course.
Where are you going out this year?
Freddy.
Nice. You got the mask.
Mm-hmm.
You got the claws.
Yes. The hat, sweater.
Nice. I like that sweater.
Why did I think you meant Freddy Fazbear? And I was like, oh, what gloves?
You need gloves for the, bare hands, right?
Right, yeah. Freddy's cool. I don't know the last time I dressed up was. Megan, when's the last time you dressed up?
If you recall, I dressed up when we went trick-or-treating.
Like 2 years ago?
Yeah, and then I don't know, I kind of thematically dressed up last year, but not really in a costume.
What was the last thing I dressed up as?
A loser.
Definitely. Every year.
Tired parent.
Every day.
He's committed to Halloween.
So Halloween, awesome holiday. I think Megan's favorite.
Yeah.
Arguably in my top of the favorites.
Right after Arbor Day.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Arbor Day, and Liam still doesn't get it, and I'm like, whatever.
You have to come to the appreciation yourself, really.
So, Liam, what are some of your favorite costumes in the last 13 years?
13 and a half, Dad?
Sure. Good Lord.
I have to think, because...
We've outlined the whole thing. We've talked about it for 3 days. And he's just... All right, Megan, let's start with you. What are some of your favorite costumes?
Okay, so I'll fill in for Kelly on this one. When we were little kids, I don't know how it started or why, but every year we were a vampire and a witch. And literally it was the little boy's costume for a vampire, because back then it wasn't so widespread that every costume had two genders running around there. So it would just be the boy's costume for vampire, and I'd be in the girl's costume for witch. And we just continued that tradition until we were probably 9, 10, 11. And then after that we had to kind of figure out our own costumes and everything. Did
you guys ever go with those you see a lot of couples do it, but did you guys ever go a peanut butter and jelly or salt and pepper?
No.
Anything themed?
No, there was never any twin things. I think we were twin princesses in those 90s costumes where it's flammable polyester white dress with the cone hat. The
1 year removed from the plastic.
The bib ones, yeah.
And then the paper mask that had the really thin rubber band around it.
Yeah, that kind of stretched it out a little bit.
Vampire and witch.
Vampire and witch. I was the witch.
Okay. You guys never traded?
No. And we just I don't know, we just...
Know your place.
We'd walk into the like Party City or whatever it was, and we'd just walk in there and we'd be looking for the vampire and for the witch. Like, we're just like, oh yeah, let's see what's available. No, that's what we were interested in, and we just kept doing it.
All right. Anything while in high school or college?
In high school and college, we didn't dress up as much. I think because it was like uncool to trick or treat in high school and college, and then also, I don't know, we were kind of losers, so we weren't invited to any parties or anything like that.
All right.
Maybe in college I went to more parties. Oh, right. Yeah, no, I was a mime once. She's out there with the cue cards being like, you went to a party dressed as a mime.
She's like, I cannot let people not know she was a mime.
Oh, it was the worst costume, though. It was just like the makeup and...
Because it's like the real thick white.
Yeah, and as you guys know, I don't ever wear makeup, so it was like constantly trying to remember not to touch like my black shirt against the white makeup. I don't really...
And do you know how to mime?
I didn't speak the whole day.
I
I didn't speak at all that day. We went to school dressed. We went to college dressed in our costumes, and we went to the party. And I didn't speak the whole time.
But you were never stuck in a box in class.
No,
You weren't like fishing or trying to get a rope.
no, there wasn't like a lot of fun stuff in
Just, I don't wanna
chemistry
talk.
classes and stuff like that.
Like it's like, oh, can't pick on me because I'm a mime.
You can
today.
wear the costume, but if you're messing around, you need to get out.
Aw,
You guys hear the dog?
yes. If you walked a little bit slower, it would sound creepier for the Halloween.
You can slow down.
Yeah. Liam, have you thought about some of your favorite costumes? What are some of the ones
What
like?
about you? I was an inflatable dinosaur one year.
Very cool. And then I bought you a tux.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that one. I was Lloyd from Dumb and Dumber when I was like 6,
Dude, it was sick. Like the whole orange,
and I had a stick too.
his little cane. Was there a hat? Did you get a hat?
Yes, I got a hat.
I liked that one. I thought that one was really cool.
Did you know what the costume was when you were 6?
Yeah, I
or-
watched the movie.
It was like his favorite movie for a minute, and he was like, "Let's do it." Did you have a buddy, or were you
Just me.
Lloyd looking for Harry?
I was Batman one year. My family wanted to do something together, so it was me and my mom. She was Batgirl, I was Batman, and I think my brother was Robin, and David was Robin too. I was Jason last year, and I'm gonna think next year I'm gonna be Michael Myers and just do the main 3.
Oh, you're just gonna pick a different horror,
Yeah.
like icon every year?
Braden, you know what he is this year?
Huh?
A scary clown.
Nice.
I was being Lloyd from Dumb and Dumber when I was 6, and I got my brother being a scary clown. The first thing he said was like, my mom was like, "What do you want to be for Halloween?" He's like, "I want to be something scary. Can I be a clown?" And he was like walking around the horror aisles, and he's like, "Oh yeah, that's what's this like? That's him, and that's him. Oh yeah, I like Michael Myers. I could have been Michael Myers this year, but I don't want to be Michael Myers this year." But he hasn't watched the movies because
Well, obviously.
there's like YouTube videos that he watches, and it's like the Michael Myers potion or finding Michael Myers with a drone, and
At 3 a.m.
Yeah, he's
All the 3 a.m.
that kind of
challenges.
stuff.
he's 6, so
To be fair, you were doing
yes.
roughly the same thing at the same time. Oh, that's pretty cool. Any other cool ones? What were you 2 years ago when she was?
I was Rick.
Yeah, from Rick and Morty. You had the hair, the jacket. That was a cool. That was a cool
Oh
day.
yeah, I was wearing a costume. Yeah, that was when I was a fox.
You were yeah.
Yeah.
And Kelly was a baby.
Yep. And I was boring loser dad.
Saying, what's your favorite costume?
So, we would do like it was like one of the first years. Like they had like the faceless, like so you had the hood mask, but there was no face on it, so it looked like it was just a faceless thing. So we did that. I did that for a year, and then sometimes we would get like 2 masks, so that way when we would hit all the houses, I just put on a different mask and then just do it again. So
Which now, as parents, we know that we would never notice that it was the same kid over
Right.
again. Like I'd be like, okay, yeah, another Rick from Rick and Morty. Okay, here you go. Here's your
Right.
candy. Bye.
So I did that. And then what is super funny, and only since we started talking about this idea for the Halloween show, I was thinking way back, like it had to have been like circa 91, 92. And like I was in love with Family Matters. I loved Steve Urkel.
Oh, I thought you just said you loved your family, but
No. And then
it was a show.
no.
but Steve Urkel was what, Jamal White, I think his name was?
Correct.
Black guy. It's a
Yeah.
black family. And I was like, I want to go with Steve Urkel. And my mom's like, okay. So we got the pants all hiked up. We got the suspenders. I got the glasses. But then as I walk around, and people are like, who are you? And I'm like, and I would do did I do that? And they're like, huh? I'm like, I'm Steve Urkel. And then only now do I realize how stupid I was. Because I'm like, I look like Clark Kent. I might as well have been Clark Kent. I'm like, yeah, so I went as Steve Urkel one year. I enjoyed it. I thought it was fun. I was walking around. Did I do that all night and nobody got it? But can you imagine if I did? Like,
I mean, that's a good costume, though. I don't think it should matter.
yeah,
Because you're a kid. You're not obviously some, like, edgy adult trying to make a point or anything
Right.
like that. It's
Halloween is like that one time of year that like really nobody cares what you're wearing. And you just like walk around and you can just wear whatever and everyone's like, oh yeah, I like your costume.
well, there are inappropriate costumes every once in a while you find. There's like some really cute ones Megan and I were looking at online. Like they had, like you have the baby in a stroller, so the stroller you make it look like a sewer drain, and then the older brother went as what's the kid's name? Georgie. So you're like, oh, that's kind of interesting and fun. Like he wants to go as like,
it's like a family themed costume.
But every once in a while you get some of these parents that think that they're just adorable and they're like, my kid will just dress up as anything, and you're like, that's like a Monica Lewinsky's like,
Yeah.
does your 5-year-old really need to be a Monica Lewinsky?
I don't know about that. Yeah, but then again, that's another edgelord parent just being like, ugh. Isn't it so funny that they don't know what they're really dressed up as?
Right.
Lloyd. I watched the movie a couple times. I just thought it was funny though.
It wasn't good. I mean, and that's a solid. I mean, it's a famous Jim Carrey character. So like, I can like, and they had the suit already. You could buy it, but for you to go out of your way to be like, we got to find a purple dress, we got to put a stain on it, and we're like, most people aren't going to get it. Like, especially the kids walking around with the other kids. And like, you got to get a kid to try to explain.
No, but I had those like couple parents. They're like, "Are you Lloyd from Dumb and Dumber?" And I'm like, "Yeah."
That's cool.
It was cool, like to be noticed by a couple people because
Especially like adults when you're a kid.
Yeah, to be like, yes, good choice this year.
You're a kid of culture.
He's like, yes, I got it.
I just like, I think this might go into the next subject, but something I always said for, I think it was like 5 and 4 maybe, I would knock on the doors of people's and ask because for candy, and I'd say, trick or treat, no peanuts please.
Oh, that's so funny.
Because I'm allergic to peanuts.
Oh, so I didn't ever know how that worked.
So I would go around.
I didn't know if you sorted it later or something.
Right, just be all disappointed because half of your candy is uneatable.
But I would knock, and then they'd be like, "Oh, I'm so sorry," and then they like go and they get something else, and I felt like so special for some reason.
Oh, because they're like, this is Reese's house. Oh, this kid.
Here's your raisins, kid.
Right.
I brought you some money.
All right, so we got raisins, we got peanut allergies, favorite candies. You're out all night. You come back, you pour your bag out. Top 3 candies we're hoping for. What are we hoping for?
My first one is the little Milk Duds.
The little box of Milk Duds?
Those ones, I feel like you get so many, but like they're just so good. The Milk Duds.
Like there's like 4 or 5 in each one, but they're perfect. One handful mouth. Like I'm down with the Milk Duds.
I think like mine changed over the years as like a kid. So I would always trick or treat with my sister, and she has like these strong likes of, she likes Snickers, this and that and the other thing, and I'd always be like, oh yeah, I just like the Twix. You can have the Snickers, and so I would just base it on whatever it, like
right or left.
Left Twix for life.
Yes, left Twix. I'm gonna hashtag that all day. Yeah, I don't know.
That's the name of the
I'm
episode. Left Twix.
Left Twix.
Left Twix.
I like it. I've always been a big fan of like pixie sticks.
Yes.
Because
I haven't got pixie sticks during Halloween in a while.
I know, but like we were talking about it earlier, it's like pixie sticks is one of those.
Liam.
Like pixie sticks is one of those candies you only find during Halloween. Like I don't know if I can go to the store right now and find pixie sticks.
They won't be at stores, but they'll be at like a Peter Piper.
You can get them at Smart and Final.
All right, pixie. What else? What else are you looking for in your bag?
Dots.
Okay.
Peanut allergy. It's like these are way out of left field. But
Right. These are all like your grandparents' like candies.
And the cookies and cream white chocolate.
Oh, the Hershey's.
oh, those are rare though. No one has those.
Oh.
They're so good.
They are good. What else you got, Megan?
Nowadays, 100 grand all day, every day. It's the old person's candy bar. You can't find it anywhere except on Halloween. I've looked
Yes.
at gas stations,
Maybe you could probably
grocery store checkouts. They're not anywhere, and then you find the little mini ones at Halloween.
Where? What? What candy?
100 grand.
100 grand?
Hold up. We have like
caramel.
5 feet from you.
the Rice Krispie crisps on top covered in chocolate.
Crunch.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's like a crunch with caramel.
yeah.
It's very good.
They're pretty bomb. I don't know why, but I loved whatever that stupid peanut butter, almost like a peanut butter toffee that was in the orange and black wax paper.
Yes.
I have no idea what they're called.
I don't think I don't even remember them having branding on them. Like,
No.
they were just in colored paper.
And you would always pull it on it, and like the candy would always stick to one side.
Yep. And then there'd be like a little bit of like paper on it sometimes.
Right, and you're like, oh, this is
Depending on what kid you are, you're just gonna eat it
Did
because
you guys
oh my god.
ever get like the Halloween bags that come with like pretzels, that like one little pencil or like a toy?
Oh, you got the lady down the street
Yeah,
who's
yeah.
like, I'm gonna make individual gift bags for everybody.
And you feel like you hit the jackpot because you got candy, a toy, and what else did I say?
Pencils,
Pencils.
like or an eraser or some.
Yeah, just like fun stuff.
Any other candies that we like?
You get lucky if you get a Nerds in there.
I like Nerds a lot, especially the ones that have like it's like
Not the
they called
gummy
the
ones.
lemonade ones.
Yes.
They're like pink and then lemon on the other side.
Now,
Good.
away from Halloween, but into Nerds. Do you remember what the old Nerds containers used to look like?
Yeah.
Liam, so like the Nerds you see now is just the regular big like box, and it's just filled with Nerds. Back in the day, they were like they had 2 openings because they always had 2 flavors.
Half and half.
So you would have like strawberry and then lemonade.
Yep.
And then in the middle, like the 2 openings would almost meet, so you could pour it all into your mouth and get both flavors, or you can eat just one side. You don't see packaging like that anymore.
Yeah, those were so much fun.
It's not a Halloween candy, but my favorite underrated candy is bottle caps.
You get those at Halloween.
I love bottle
They'll
caps.
have like the little paper ones that has like one flavor in it,
Or like the
one
twosies, yeah.
But never like the big box of them.
Not anymore.
I feel like I don't only eat bottle caps on Halloween though. I don't know. It's not something I really crave the rest of the year.
Yeah, we're going to
But
Walgreens to getting bottle caps
Right.
after this.
Like we would get them for like movie night, and then we would just eat boxes of them for like 2 weeks, and then we're like, okay, we're done with all that pure sugar.
well, there's some like snacks and candies out there where you feel like you only crave them when you're having a movie
Right.
or
Yeah, we like
trick or treating.
because like it'd be like every because we just gotta get the most random cravings out of nowhere. Like you know what? I'll tell you after. But I've tried it down because I can't forget.
Okay.
But we always get like these like random things like because we're watching a movie. I always gotta have my nerd clusters. When we're watching a movie. You always have like a cracker.
Yeah,
Almost.
and then like a cinnamon, like hot tamales.
Yes.
hot tamales are
Yeah.
the best.
How do you guys feel about Mike and Ike's?
They're like a sad hot tamale.
I don't.
They wish they were.
I
hot
don't like them
tamale.
at all.
They're okay. They're just like, what's the one that's like Mike and Ike's, but they're like purple?
Purple and white, the good and plenties.
Good and
The black-
plenties.
Yes.
Those ones are chaotic evil hot
man.
tamales. No way.
I love those, man. I've loved those since I was a kid. I love black licorice.
I would say they're licorice flavored, so no kid except for you is gonna want them.
Which is weird because Sophie, a while ago, I bought
You
some
gave her licorice and like
black licorice and she was just going to town on it. I was like, all right, that's my kid.
No need for the DNA test now. That's my kid.
All right, the opposite side. What candy did you not, or not even candy, what item did you not want to see in your
Almond
bag?
Joy.
Almond Joys.
Yeah, Almond Joys, Mounds,
I'm
Good and
allergic.
Plenty.
Who does that? Like, what, who's going to the store and be like,
Aren't they called musketeers?
there's the Three Musketeers.
The Musketeers
There's
are
no,
good.
there's no nuts in those.
They're just nougat.
Yeah.
Like
What
the bottom
else?
part of a Snickers bar.
Items. Not even candy. Those stupid
The vampire teeth.
vampire teeth or the stupid spider rings.
Yeah.
The plastic ones that never fit on any finger.
Somebody gave you like the toothbrush and little tiny
Yes.
toothpaste.
There's
You're like,
always
is this a dentist's house, or shouldn't he be happy that we're all gonna ruin our teeth
Right.
and
like
be
this
at
is
his
job
office
security.
next month or something? I actually kind of like the spider rings though.
Did you?
Yeah, give us something to.
They
play
get old
with.
though. They get old because like you get so many.
There were so many.
Yeah, but like, so when we were growing up, we didn't have a lot of money, so like anything that was free was just icing on the cake if there's some kind of toy or something that you can divert yourself with, because we didn't really receive a lot of toys the way that like most kids
Yeah.
do, the way Sophie does.
Right.
So we would just get 1,000 hours of play out of stupid crap because we
Right.
had no other choice.
What candy was like horrible? How do you feel about candy corn?
I like candy. I like the pumpkin ones.
Oh, like the fat ones.
Yeah, the ones that are like kind of,
Like they're just big. Like
and yeah, the pumpkin. And I don't like the regular like triangle candy corns though.
I feel like I don't like them very much, but I probably just sit there and eat it.
right.
It's like inoffensive.
right. You're like, well, I guess because
If
this.
there's this bag and it's open.
I mean,
But like at Halloween parties, you'd always see that bowl of candy corn. And you guys went to a couple Halloween parties, right?
Yeah.
I would think so.
But like they never had candy at the Halloween parties. It felt like.
It was always like,
It's hard to keep a lot of candy for even like 10 kids because they'll just eat it all and then there'll be none left. So
it was more about like the popcorn balls.
popcorn balls. I remember as a kid like doing those bobbing for apples things. I'm pretty sure the kids don't do that anymore.
Did.
It's so fun. It makes you feel like you live on a farm or something.
But
There's nothing else to do.
or they make the pudding that makes it look like dirt, and they put the worm in it, so
Yep.
everybody got
They do that with Lunchables now.
very cool.
There's like a Lunchables meal with it's like dirt and worms, and like you get to dip your gummy worms that you get
Oh,
out of
cool.
Lunchables. And
Yeah, it's pretty. I like those though because we used to get those at the Ground Round. I don't know if they have those in the Southwest. It was a while ago. I'm old, but like they'd have that like dirt thing in the like a baseball cap, a plastic baseball cap with a random baseball team on it. Made you always want to get the Yankees,
Right.
but you never did.
What about the coupons? One free tiny cone at McDonald's, or
I've never gotten a coupon.
you've never got a coupon.
Well,
I don't think
it's
your area gives
the-
out coupons.
Yeah, in the age of coupons. Because I remember when we were doing one of those white elephant gifts at school, somebody gave me a coupon book from McDonald's. I'm like, that could never happen now.
Right, yeah.
They're like, oh, give me your points in the McDonald's app
Yeah.
or whatever.
Routines. What kind of routines did you guys have? Like, Liam, you're
Always watched Hocus Pocus with my mom.
Okay. So you have a designated movie every year?
Usually people do carving pumpkins, but I'm allergic to pumpkins.
I didn't know that.
Thanks, Dad.
I mean, thank
Yeah.
God, like, I'm not the guy who's like,
I
"Let's
just
carve
found that
pumpkins."
out, but I also haven't been in his life as long, so maybe a little bit more excusable.
Which, I mean, that's why we've never carved
To
pumpkins.
be fair,
for years.
Liam's allergic to like everything.
Right.
He's like peanuts,
Grass.
pumpkin, grass, winning at life,
Palm
Yeah.
trees.
everything. You're not allergic to
I'm
palm trees.
allergic to palm trees.
There's no way. How could you figure that out?
I get an
Did you
allergy
hug?
test.
Did you hug one once or something?
Yes. And I got irritated.
What is your so you're 13. You're at the tail end of your trick or treating. I mean, in theory, you got
6 more years.
Oh, you think? Okay.
There are adults in our neighborhood, or in my mom's neighborhood last year, that were trick-or-treating for real by themselves.
That's crazy.
I'm like, that's a little nuts, dude.
Have you ever gone out, Liam, by yourself, or do you always go with family?
Always go with family.
When do you plan on going by yourself, or with your crew?
14.
So next year.
Oh, we were...
I'm dropping the kids. I'm dropping the parents.
Different
and me
times.
And yeah.
Different times.
I was going to say, our parents probably let us out at like 7, 8, and they're like, oh, just stay in the neighborhood.
Yeah. Well, there's always a buddy system. Like, you have the sisters.
Well,
I
of
have
course
the
you
two
go
sisters.
with like your friends or your like your younger or your older siblings.
Or there was always like a designated parent that would sometimes do it.
Yeah, they would sometimes like flit along behind you.
Right. They're like, never keep track of all the kids. Just make sure no one got ran over or taken.
Yeah.
I would do... We went out with like Nikki and Rhiannon for a few years. But in like 4th grade... I think 4th grade I probably went with the both of them. But after that, I was solo. I was with my boys. First year we started on foot, and we would just go around and did the double mask thing. And then like 6th, 7th, 8th grade, rollerblades.
Oh, were you using... What did you use to hold candy? Because I have a specific of using
All right, Liam.
pillowcases.
Pillowcases is by far a genius candy receptacle.
Yeah, you guys are playing with pumpkins and weird hands and stuff. Pillowcase will hold so much candy, and then you could go dump it at home.
And then
come on back.
There's no structural integrity, so your bag won't rip.
The one I got this year is it's like a black bag that's bloody, but it turns into like a backpack almost.
Oh, like the drawstring one?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Fair enough.
Fancy.
No.
Pillowcases.
Like just the idea of like your friend knocks on the door and you're getting ready to leave and you're like, hold on, you have to run and you're like throwing your pillow all over the place.
I had a pillowcase. I did a pillowcase once.
Sweet.
Yeah, but it wasn't weird or niche. That was what everybody was holding.
And because then you can hold it, just roll it on the top and just hold it.
Yeah, and it would get heavy.
They would get heavy.
But there was nothing, because last year we had Sophie, and she had her wagon. So anytime she was tired of holding something, she just dumped it in the wagon. And Kelly and I were like these little string bean kids, and we're holding these giant bags of candy, just hauling them back to the house, dumping them out, and coming back. But there was no like parent to help you or hold it for you. It was just like whatever you can muster.
Definitely different times, I feel like.
No, for sure. Like
it felt a little more dangerous too when you're. Obviously, it wasn't very dangerous, but when you were a kid, it felt spooky to be out at night with your friends, and you guys are all dressed up in costumes. Everybody's unfamiliar.
Right.
It almost felt like you were in a different neighborhood than your like actual neighborhood.
Right.
I think it robs you a little bit if you have like parents with you. And they're going, Cindy, give him back his fake fangs, or else we're going home.
When did you stop? Would you say you officially stopped trick or treating?
Shoot, I think that we were probably stopped maybe when we were like 11 or 12.
Whoa.
I was like. Oh, I wasn't gonna say that low.
What? 11? I feel like
that's what 5th, 6th grade.
You're probably
6th
right
grade,
though, because
yeah.
I feel like it's gonna be a lot more fun to go to a Halloween party than go trick or treating.
It's not that we necessarily thought it wasn't going to be fun anymore. It's just that none of our friends were doing it, and it just felt weird to be just hanging out with a bunch of little kids.
I'm a boy, so we mature significantly slower than everybody else. So I had to have been like 16. 16-ish.
I'm still trick or treating.
And the people in our neighborhood were a little bit back in my time of trick or treating. Not now. Now everybody gets to do whatever they want, I guess, which is good. But even when we were like 12, people would be like, "Aren't you a little old for trick or treating?"
Get off me.
And I was like, I'm still a child. I'm but in elementary school. Like, chill. But they would comment about it, and that kind of made us sour on going the next year. So we ended up not doing that anymore.
What would you do? What would your mom do if we were like, "I'm going to go out alone this year, Mom"? Me,
Well-
Spence, and George. We're gonna go same area, same neighborhood. We're gonna hit 2 blocks that way, 1 over, and then we'll be back hour. What do you think she'd do?
She'd say no.
All right.
I feel like next year though, she's gonna maybe give it a nod.
All right.
But I feel like she also wants me to spend time with like family.
Yeah. So you
You
get
do have a little brother to like. When
Yeah.
my sisters were older,
Yeah.
and they still lived in the house. It was like a kind of not a big Venn diagram, but they had to take us
Right.
and walk with us or whatever. But
But like Lena could be like, we're going out at 6, have you home by 7:30, and then I'll do a 7:30 to 9 run by myself with my boys. No?
9's like too late though now.
Oh man, it is though. I don't know. I guess.
no, yeah, we would be out there. I feel, and maybe it was just you remembering it as a kid. But I
Right.
felt like we were out there till like midnight.
Right, like 8:02. You're like, oh my god, it's close to midnight, and you're like,
Close to midnight, we're out here knocking on people's doors.
Liam, what scared you as a kid?
Real things that happen.
Like
I don't. Yeah, I would.
spiders.
Oh yeah, spiders. I hate spiders.
Okay, so you hate spiders.
Sorry, Courtney.
Clowns.
First, second.
First.
Well, when I was like 6, 7, kind of, yeah. There was this challenge called this thing on YouTube called Momo that my school had to send out emails saying that it wasn't real, just so. Because I remember like sitting at a table after you dropped me off, because I went to this like before school thing because parents have to get to work, and we all sat down on the table and I was like so serious, like, yeah, like it's just like so weird to think that he could like be killing people right now.
Momo. So Momo was a clown.
Momo was not a clown. Momo
No, it was like a YouTube video.
it was like a YouTube video that was like some doll, and it had like long weird hair and had like a
Big ol' smile.
Whoville smile.
Okay.
And then and then had like these eyes, and they like were like this.
And because you're in first, second grade, you're like, this thing's probably real.
Is second grade, yeah.
Okay.
And then
So like second grade, you were already on YouTube without your parents.
yes,
and
Yeah.
yes.
just finding these crazy things.
The
Like
first,
J Station and drinking
Yeah.
this potion at 3 a.m.
the Among Us potion at 3 a.m. When I first learned about 9/11, I got scared of the attackers. What's it called?
So you saw this terrorism was happening everywhere.
Yeah, it was. I don't. It's weird because like those nights. You remember those nights really well,
Right.
Like I remember just like cycling through my head like they're dead. Nothing's gonna happen, and then calming down, and then
Right.
going back up and saying it could happen again.
Terror's everywhere.
But like, and then my mom's like, why would they attack like our house? Like no one's gonna after us. No one's gonna be just like.
Megan,
Gonna bomb an empty field.
Whoa. And then some movie with the deaf girl, right?
Hush, yeah. So
Can't have been that long ago because I knew you when you watched
Yeah.
that.
what used to scare you as a kid?
It's interesting, like
Nothing.
hearing him say like when I was a kid.
Yeah.
But no, The Mummy. I loved that movie as a kid, but for some reason I had to literally leave the room at the sandstorm scene where like he turns into like a big thing and he swallows the plane.
Right.
I have no idea why I was so scared of that. And I definitely always wanted to watch The Mummy. Like, I was like, let's watch The Mummy.
Right.
But I'd have to have Kelly to, like, tag me back in and be like, the scene is over. Because I would literally, I can't stand that. Oh, no.
Right.
But, like, I don't know. I wasn't afraid of too many things as a kid. But
Right.
for some reason, that was the big one for me.
You get scared of anything now? Spiders.
Yes.
So this house is like a house of terror to you because there's like 15,000 spiders outside the door right now.
Like they're right next door. Like
And,
half a
and
second
then they're
away.
the Kelly, what spider?
brown recluse.
Brown recluse. I keep forgetting it.
Yeah.
And giving them sad names because I can't remember what they are. Those are just all over the place according to our pest control.
Right. I think growing up, nothing specific, but it was always like shadows with corresponding weird sound.
Yeah.
And it's just, your imagination just like goes wild. And
I'm scared of not the woods. I'm scared of what's in the woods.
Like what's lurking around it.
Like not the darkness, but what the darkness is hiding.
Yes.
I had this stuffed animal. What was his name? It was a Pet Monster. I think it was Pet Monster. Blue. He had orange handcuffs. A weird looking nose. Favorite thing in the world. But my mom would tell me, like, at night, like when we turned the lights off, like it gave off like a weird shadow and would freak me out like every night. And she's like, you carry that thing around all day. You're asleep with the stupid thing and you're scared of the shadow.
I think it would have been fun with your mom. She seems like she would have been fun as a mom.
She still is. She's fun.
No, like when you were a kid, though.
Oh yeah, she was a blast. It was a lot of fun back then. You guys mentioned YouTube. Do you guys have any? So it's our Halloween episode. Anything that people can watch on YouTube to kind of help get them ready for tomorrow's Halloween night?
Randonautica.
Yes.
Download it before Halloween. Do it.
So, can you describe what Randonautica is?
Watch, I'm gonna do it in my way, and then I'm gonna do it like the actual way.
Oh, no.
I don't know what this means. Okay.
A website that takes you somewhere, right? That's what I was gonna say.
Okay.
But then I what's the word that we looked up yesterday? Apophenia.
Apophenia, yeah.
Kind of like that, but it's a website and it's you type in a word and then like happy, right? And then it takes you somewhere happy. But it's all with your brain, and it says that they're like nothing's like bad about it, and it's just like your brain like does something and like knows that it's gonna happen almost.
Okay.
And it takes you to that place. So like
So if I think happy, and the app is going to give me directions, and what happens when I get to that direction?
It may like it's gonna be something happy, but to you.
Okay.
Or like the scary part is it like if when what's the YouTuber's name?
Nick Crowley.
Nick Crowley. He showed me his video, and some teenagers on TikTok searched up death as like a joke because
Right.
teenagers.
Yeah, you're a teenager. You're like ha 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 ha.
And then they drive to it, and there's like a suitcase, right? And they're like, oh yeah, it's a suitcase. They open it, and they're like, what's that smell? And then they realize there's a dead body in it.
Right.
And then it like took the internet by storm, and then everyone started like doing happy and stuff. And then this Nick Crawley guy does it, which the first one is kind of believable, but the second one isn't.
What did he say? Blood?
He said blood, yeah.
So he goes on this drive, and they're all pretty close. So it was like maybe a 10-minute drive. But as he approaches the destination, it's a house. But as he gets close to the house, ambulances, policemen coming in from all directions, and they drive past the house, and they're like, that's where we're supposed to be. And they park down the street, and they're like, maybe this is just a coincidence, but it's like super creepy that this app literally took him to a house that he's never been before, and then as they approach, ambulances are going everywhere. So we're like,
Right.
So now your brain's just going, you're like, well, clearly somebody just died, and it's a bloody mess in there. And then I think he did his second one,
And it's like he typed in death.
right?
And he's like, gosh, I can't do this anymore, death. And then he said he wasn't, I didn't believe the second one at all, but he said he typed in death, and he almost got sideswiped on the road.
Yeah, so on his way to the destination, speeding car runs basically a red light.
So essentially, it's fake because, like, if it was really talking about the speeding car that almost sideswiped him, it would have said, here, right here in the middle of the road, that's where you should go to see death, and that's where you would almost get sideswiped.
Maybe, I don't know. I read some of the reviews on it, and Liam did actually a very good job describing this app. It was something like quantum. It's all like quantum something, but it's like your brain, like your thoughts and brains can help impact the universe. So if you're thinking it, this app will combine it with the quantum physics and it will take you to a destination. So
how does this app measure the quantum physics again?
I have no idea. Like, I think a lot of it's like Liam said, what was that word?
Apophenia.
Right. It's like, if you think about it, then obviously wherever you go, you're like, you can go to the same park with 3 different like descriptions, and you could find a way to make it happy or sad.
But like, you could go to the grocery store and you'd be like, oh yeah, I said chicken. Oh, I said chicken at the grocery store. You say blood and like, oh, there's a meat department back here.
Right.
There's blood there.
Right. But like, when you think about it, and then like when you see like the suitcase video and you read some of the reviews, it's kind of, because like your first thought is always,
there's a lot of coincidences, and it's like so much that I will not let Liam download the game. Like,
I keep trolling him like every day.
Every day he's like, Dad, please approve this app.
And I'm kind of scared to like when you like do approve it, because I'm gonna delete it immediately.
Like, it's, even if it is 100% total fake, and it probably is, but just the coincidence and just now the lore that follows it, definitely on the creepy side.
Well, I don't like the idea of like a bunch of 13-year-olds going to somebody's house because an app spit out 223 South 92nd Place, and then it turns out it's like a guy who has a gun and just doesn't want people on his property.
Right. And then that's like the whole coincidence thing is where it's like, but like when you read these reviews, some of them are just like, and it's really hard because you don't know if these reviews are trolls or they're just making it up, or just like, it is weird enough, especially in the age of the internet, where fake or not, it gives you that creepy feeling, that those feels of like.
And honestly, I agree with you on that one, because I'm the kind of person who says I don't believe any show I've ever seen where it says, oh, there's a ghost,
right.
Oh, there was a demon. But I'm also not going to go looking for that, because what's the prize there? That I found a demon? Like, oh no, this is... Wait, hold on a second. I'm supposed to try to avoid that in life.
I remember doing something with like my cousin. It's like, it was another thing that kind of scared me when I was little, was the a Ouija board. You draw out the letters and numbers on a paper, and you do the 2-finger strat instead of doing the... like the real board, and it like they try and scare me obviously, and they'd be like, oh, whoa, but then you like see some of like the other videos like that, like you showed me the stairway one, right? Like some of the, I feel like the random Reddit ones also are kind of creepy, like they give you that creepy feel.
So like on YouTube, I mentioned Nick Crowley. He's on there. He has like some really interesting videos, like the darkest moments in TV history,
darkest side of the YouTube,
where he just like pulls clips.
Like that one guy who,
like
everybody on the stage, and
he's got
some compilations like that,
right? Or just like the darkest videos on YouTube or Reddit. And like when Liam and I watched it, it's like we've seen some of these videos before, but what's interesting what he does is the presentation.
Yeah, it's all in the editing, how it's presented.
Like the VCR, like the static look, and then the flash in like some weird image, the music, and then his voice. He has a perfect voice for this channel. But yeah, anybody want to not super scary, but they're weird and semi-disturbing.
Goosebumps down your like.
Yeah, Nick Crowley. I have another guy. Blame It on Jorge. He does a bunch of like disturbing lost media, and lost media is this like new rabbit hole I'm falling down, where it's like he talks about all these old like early internet days of like these channels or these videos, and that have completely disappeared in like the last 10 years. But you find these like Reddit boards, and you find some of these other channels where they have like old like hidden clips of some of this lost media, and they're like weird videos, and you're like, I don't even know what this is, but because we can't go back and find that YouTube channel anymore, we're like, now it's just your imagination just running wild to be like, what is all this weird stuff?
I feel like another way to like scare is like, you don't get scared of the movie, you get scared of what goes on in your mind,
right?
Mostly because you're like, oh well, like, because you get that thought process of, oh, why they're gonna like attack me, like, because if it could happen to these kids so easily, like it could happen to me, and then you just like everything starts running through your brain all at once, and then you end up when like, especially when you're a kid, that's when you start breaking down crying, and then.
But like,
don't worry, it doesn't get any better as you become an adult.
But,
like nowadays, like I'm scared of the dumbest stuff imaginable. Like I'll wake up and the dog's barking, and I'm like, oh my god, he only barks if somebody comes close to the house, and he's in the house right now.
So that means they're closer to the door than at the gate.
Like, and he's locked in the house, so he can't go outside. And there's probably somebody at our door or something like that, and then I'll go outside because I'm like the man of the house here, I guess. And I'll be like going outside, just like, hey, who's there? Like. And that, like, scares me because you just think, like, oh, yeah, I'm going to go out there and there's not going to be anybody there. But what if there is?
Right.
And I'm, like, a woman. So somebody could easily overpower me. And then they would get into Kelly and Sophie. Right. But I don't want to wake them up either because I don't want to scare them.
Right. And what's super interesting, with this episode is, like, of all the emotions, horror seems to be, like... It has like a harder like hold on you when it does get a hold on you. Like you can want to be happy, but like it's like you almost take happy for granted. But when things are like weird or scary or creepy, you start hearing noises and shadows. Like for whatever reason, like it has such a bigger like impact and hold on you.
Like the creaks in the floor, and you like look behind you.
Yeah.
And
you can't scrub it clean because if I go out there and nobody's out there, and I come back in and go, okay, well that's it, and I lay down, I go, what if he was hiding behind the tree, or what if he was around? What if I was walking this way around the house and he was just right around the corner, doing like the other circle? And you just sit there, and if you don't get all of it, you get nothing, and you just get
definitely puppy videos tonight. No,
right? And like. It's so much, and because I've like I said, I've fallen down a YouTube rabbit hole where I'm just watching anything and everything just disturbing. If it has disturbing, scary, or like lost, like I'm watching all of it, and it's just like weird because it's like a weird feeling because it's not one that we seek out, like per se. So like when I do see it, it's like, oh, I'm not used to this feeling, and it's kind of weird, which kind of then takes us into the second half of this episode. Movies.
Ooh.
We go to the movies to be scared.
Yeah, all the time.
Like, which is super weird because you're never, like you said, you're not going to do random Nautica in the off chance that something scary could happen.
Right. Like, but I will sit in a theater and watch like The Nun 2 or something.
Right. And it's like the horror genre is amazing because it's like we pay money to go somewhere to purposely get scared, and I don't know. I love the horror genre. I love horror movies. So I think we're gonna do a little activity here. We're gonna talk about some horror monsters or villains, but the ones we're gonna talk about are gonna be mostly from like the slasher era, a little bit into the new century era. So Liam, horror movies have been around forever.
Yes.
Like you can go all the way back to like the black and whites that we used to watch, right? Those are like your 30s into your 40s, into like the 50s, like your 40s and 50s. Horror, you would go to the movies to see the actor be that horror character. So like Vincent Price,
Karloff,
right? So you're like, oh, I want to go see that guy be that horror monster. But then what happened in the 80s, like the mid 70s into the 80s, and then probably up to like the late 90s, was the horror genre changed, in that it became like bloodier, like the body counts were bigger. There was more sequels, like they were pumping out sequels every year in the 80s.
The Jason movies?
Jason's, every year there was a different Jason movie. But what happened, the change in that was it's no longer the actor that you're following that you care about. It now becomes the character. Like that whole, like this whole paradigm change in which I don't even know I don't know the name of the guy who plays like Chucky or
Jason Voorhees or Michael
like,
Myers.
I don't know
or-
any of those guys. And it's like, so there's this like weird change in which it's not, it's,
Well, I mean,
the
it's not one guy,
Yeah.
though. It's several guys for each franchise.
but it's the serial killer that we start to like glamorize, I guess, in a way.
Everybody like you see the Jason shirts all the time.
Right.
You see the Chucky shirts all the time.
So, and then after the slasher era, we got kind of into like the new century era. They say the mid like 2000s into like the mid 2010s. That's where you get into like your gore porn, your hostels, your saws.
Yeah.
Where everything was just like, we want to make everything as bloody and gory as
Human
possible.
Centipede. It's all the shock factor.
Yes. It was like really
Terrifier.
weird. Yeah.
But I mean, if you think about it, you know, your grandparents or whatever would have said, yeah, that's what it became in the 80s, was it was
Right.
all shock factors.
Right.
And, you know, every person tries to be more and more ridiculous.
Right. And then the current modern day horror that we have now is a little bit more like story driven, like your Get Outs,
Yeah.
Us. What was another like
Purge.
The Witch, Hereditary.
Yeah.
Purge was still there.
Yeah, but they started like playing more like almost like psychological.
What about like
on-
Exorcist? Almost Exorcist.
Exorcist would probably play really good now, as much as it did back in '73. So we're going to talk today, right now, mostly the slasher era. We could dip into that new century gore porn era. So we're going to go around the table. We're going to pick who we feel will be our top horror monster villains.
Okay,
Who wants to go first?
I'll go first.
All right.
So like, we're going off of like, you think horror movies, you think of him, or like slasher movies.
Perfect. Whatever you want on our list of top horror icons.
Definitely Jason.
Jason. How do we feel about Jason? You like Jason? What's he? He's what?
Friday the 13th.
Friday the 13th.
Yeah, a mama's boy, you know.
All right. Who do you got?
For me, it's Halloween, so it's Michael Myers.
Mike Myers.
And then I'm pretty sure you're gonna choose.
Well, I think we're gonna get 3 picks each. I'm gonna start on the bottom. I'm gonna have to go Chucky. I like Chucky. He fits in like this weird, like, cause he was
Horror
in the
comedy, sort of.
Oh, and he just got more ridiculous. And he's still alive now. Like, they have 3 seasons of a television show.
Right.
So I'm going to go with Chucky. Who you got?
Krueger.
Freddy. Elm Street.
Nightmare on Elm Street.
Nice. All right. Who's your second pick?
I'm gonna go with Ghostface because that is like the quintessential Halloween mask. You gotta admit, you go into a Halloween
Yes,
store, you're gonna see
Ghostface.
that mask.
Right.
You're gonna associate that with Halloween.
I think when we get all the way around, we'll go through the list real quick and we'll talk a little bit about him. But Ghostface, wildly important to the whole horror genre. So my pick, I think we gotta go back to like the origin, like early days of the slasher era. Leatherface.
Oh, it was gonna be my pick. I was gonna have the most stacked list.
All right, who you got? Your last pick. This one's an important one.
I do think of Pinhead every time I think of horror.
From Hellraiser.
I've never seen the movie, but I think of his face.
And he did have a really weird, disturbing look to him.
Yeah, he definitely has an iconic look.
Oh
Yeah.
no!
And-
I take it back. I take it back.
Okay.
Niche following. Go
I
ahead.
take it back. Pennywise.
All right. Have you seen the new?
Yes, the new one.
What'd you think of it?
Could have been scarier.
All right. You think so?
Yes.
All right. All right, Pennywise, your last pick, Megan.
I'm gonna throw in some Candyman because the Jordan Peele version was not as scary as I thought it was gonna be. But it really lit up my brain with like the possibilities of new slashers and kind of marrying what you're talking about with the
What was
new
his weapon?
like psychological version of
Yeah.
stuff while still having the slasher aspect.
Right.
I thought
What was
that
his
pretty
weapon?
cool.
Or what
His
did he use to
weapon
kill people?
is like a knife.
Since I opened the door to,
All my killers had knives.
I opened the door to gore porn, I'm gonna have to go Jigsaw. He spanned 10 movies across like 15 years.
There's some of the movies are banned in countries because they're so bad.
Jigsaw. All right. We're gonna talk. I'll go through the list again. We'll talk, and at the end, we each give our top threes, who we put as our Mount Rushmores.
There's 4 people on Mount Rushmore.
Our three-faced Mount Rushmore of horror icons. All right, Jason. What do we like about Jason?
He has the best kills out of this whole list.
You think he has the best
He has
kills?
the best kills out of this whole list.
I mean, he definitely has a lot of creative kills, and I feel like there's a cool mystique about him, like being camp and all that stuff, and drowned.
We have Jigsaw on this list. I don't know what I'm talking about, but for best kills.
Oh, they're almost two different games. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, because Saw was all about the special kills.
Yeah.
Everything was circling around that, like how that you're gonna get killed by your own hand, basically,
Right.
which is kind of silly.
But Jason was like, I'm in this situation. I need to use what I have. Very creative.
And he made a good leap into like the jump the shark territory, where he became kind of funny, but also
Right.
still scary. Like you see Freddy versus Jason.
Yeah.
I was still scared of Jason. It was a funny movie, but I was still like, oh no, Jason.
Jason finds his way to like Mortal Kombat. Like he's an icon. Like he's like.
The mask. It's the ski mask. Everyone knows.
And what's fun was with like the horror genres, he owned camps for like the first 4 movies or something. Like he's always in the woods or always like terrorizing kids from camp.
They have a good game to it too.
Yeah.
But they did have a lot of movies for him, and I feel like they were unneeded.
They were consistently, I think of all of them, every year there was always a Friday the 13th.
Oh, and they did the cool thing. They did this with Freddy as well, where they would go like, the final chapter. And then the next year they would have another one.
Jason Goes to Hell.
Right.
And then
Jason X, of course, is the best one.
Right. I haven't seen nearly as many of the Jasons as the rest of you. Michael Myers. He terrorized a neighborhood.
Yeah.
Neighborhood. Just one little neighborhood.
Yeah.
Maybe a hospital.
Halloween 1978, when you're talking about like rituals.
Right.
And stuff like that. That is my ritual, is watching that movie by myself or with Kelly in the dark. And it's not the scariest movie ever. It's not the most ridiculous movie ever. But it's the quintessential Halloween for me.
And it has arguably the most iconic soundtrack or theme.
Yeah.
Like you hear that theme and you're like, oh, you know who it is. You know what it is. You know it's Halloween.
And, you know, it's him versus his psychologist, Dr. Loomis. And seeing them pitted against each other movie after movie is kind of interesting. It made the jump towards like the ridiculous Rob Zombie ones that kind of sucked.
Right.
And then they came back for these newer ones, and they also kind of suck, but they're still fun to watch. I'm not gonna lie.
we might get a high.
Hi, Sophie. Want to say hi?
Why not? And I don't want to do right now.
Okay, not right now. Don't get caught in the cord.
You have anything to add for Michael Myers? How do you feel about the Halloween franchise?
I have a lot to say. Like,
How much of Michael Myers have you watched? How many Halloween films have you watched?
the newest one and one in the middle. One of them was a remake. I don't know.
But I'd be interested to see what you think of 1970. I know you're not going to think it's scary because it's boring for the first half
plus
of the
we're
movie.
desensitized to violence with 30 years of like progressively more like gore and horror and just.
I just don't like how he's so slow. That's why I don't like Jason and Michael.
They're slow.
And they just like
it's like I just need an inhaler and I can beat you guys.
And I don't like how they fall every time and like the. But I do get, because everyone knows Jason, everyone knows Michael.
Next on the list, I'm gonna skip real quick and go back to where Liam was headed. The 3 most iconic slasher era Freddy Krueger.
Well, Freddy is different from the two of them because
he's
Michael Myers, we do know the backstory a
Right.
little bit. It's barely any backstory, though, because he's like a little kid who just killed his sister.
Right.
And then they try to do it later at age 20 or whatever it is. But Jason Voorhees, he drowned. And originally it was his mother who was the killer.
Spoiler.
But
Whatever.
Later on it
40 years.
becomes more of his like ghost or reanimated corpse or whatever it is. But Freddy was not hiding behind a mask, and he was his own character.
He was a monster when he was alive. He's a monster now that he's in the dream world.
And he's like probably the scariest out of those three. He's in your like dreams, and he's all running around in your mind, and he's like using things against you. And like when he gets pulled out, you get those scenes where he runs at you with his claw, and
Yeah, there's no escape because you eventually will have to sleep.
Right.
You will, like, you can stay awake as long as you want or to plan against him, but eventually your body is going to shut
Right.
yourself down.
What's funny about those first three is iconic of the 80s into the 90s, and everybody was always in a different camp. It wasn't like I like one or they're all okay. It was either you're ride or die, Halloween, Friday the 13th, or Elm Street. And I was definitely an Elm Street guy.
I'm with you.
And you were Halloween?
I actually didn't watch Halloween until I was older.
Okay.
So when I was a kid, I was more of a Nightmare on Elm Street person.
All right.
And it's scary as a kid thinking of.
Like your dreams are the safest place you should
But
be.
he's funny though too. He does.
Yeah,
like,
Robert
crack-
Englund did a good job of riding the line between I'm scary, but you also kind of like him. You like
Yes.
him. And you can't really say that about really Michael Myers or Jason Voorhees because they're like flat lines for personalities.
Right.
But you can like Freddy because he kind of like jokes around
He
and
speaks.
then kills you.
Yeah, he speaks. Next on the list was Chucky.
Yeah.
I like Chucky a lot. Child's Play 1, 2, 3.
No,
They did-
not 3. 3 sucks so bad. Sucks so much. We don't talk about 3.
He exists though.
Then they went into Bride, Seed,
Ooh,
Cult, and Curse,
and the show.
and the series. The first three,
First two.
whatever, they're just scary, like doll running around, and then you get into the next three, and it just got campier and campier.
And that switch was really what the franchise needs. Because I think, yes, the your doll kills you thing is pretty scary. I mean, if one of Sophie's dolls came around,
Right?
I'd be terrified, of course. But there's not a lot you
There.
can get from there. Like, you can't go a lot of places from there.
Like, I think
Like everyone knows like the couple scenes from Chucky, like the Martha Stewart scene, and like everyone knows Tiffany and Chucky sitting next to each other.
and it's so meta now. Like, they have the series, like they're in its third season of the series, and it just references itself. It plays into all of the campiness. Like,
As a
Jennifer
daughter.
Tilly played whatever actress she was. So the bride turns into the chick that Jennifer Tilly was, but then by the third movie or the sixth movie, they're like, I'm gonna put my body in the real Jennifer Tilly.
Right.
And we're like, what are we doing?
Just making it completely meta.
Oh my, it is.
Well, it's like Wes Craven's A New Nightmare. It's like you're running out of ideas or places to go.
Right.
Make it super meta, and that makes it almost scarier again because you're like, hey, what if this all happened in real life though?
Right.
Because it's all in movies, and you're not scared of a movie anymore. But what if it happened to these real actors and actresses who are pretending to play a horror movie?
Right.
Like the Joker movie, like that. Like I was
Is that
looking
the
at
Joaquin Phoenix
yeah,
one?
Yeah.
the some guy was doing an interview, and he's like, he was so into character, like that he had to like almost like someone had to go to him and tell him to stop because
Right.
like there was a scene where he was like punching a TV.
Right.
That wasn't in the script, and like he was just so in character, and he was on character on set.
It's like the curse of the Joker, though. It's like it
Heath
happened to
Ledger.
Jared Leto, where he was just being a dickhead and
Right.
like mailing people dead rats and stuff.
Right.
That was the lamest version of it.
Right.
Heath Ledger, obviously.
And he went like deep into like this this hard method acting, trying to like we'll have a whole episode I guess on like Joker and Batman and comic books and stuff, but like this character, like for you to like as a serious actor, you're like, I want to get as much as I can out of this Joker character. And like Heath Ledger for weeks locked himself in a room and like trying to like figure out what it is to be Joker, and then
he did a great job.
great job. So Joker's fantastic. What's really funny about the horror genre, and I think it's the only genre that you can get away with it. Jason, Michael Myers, Chucky, Freddy, 48 movies each, but we all watch all of them.
Right.
And they're
Well, you're
all,
a little bit curious every time something comes out.
right, but you know that they're never going to get better. You can find some gems.
Yeah, you can find some gems, but I don't know. Halloween had a weird.
Right.
Because the second one was supposed to. Originally, he wanted Halloween to be like an anthology of different stories and not just Michael Myers. And then, of course, everybody was like, wow, Michael Myers, he's so cool. What are we going to hear from him next?
Right.
And you're like, oh, God, I can't do that.
Next on the list, Ghostface.
Ghostface.
Never
From
seen,
Scream.
Never seen any of the movies. Don't have any intention to. But that mask is the most known mask.
I think you would like it. It is
You
very
would.
meta. It is going not after the horror industry. It's like an homage, like a love letter to
Yes.
it. Talking about all the different tropes and how they play out and then trying to subvert those tropes.
Like the first 20 minutes basically is going to say, here's what the movie's going to look like. And then it plays through it and you're like, oh my God, they literally told me what the movie was going to
They
be.
already told me what was going to happen.
Scream, important because it reinvigorated the horror genre. Because
Well, and it's iconic too. Like the opening scene of
Drew Barrymore.
Drew Barrymore. She got an award, like an Oscar or something, for being in like 5 minutes of that movie.
If that,
And,
yeah.
And but we all know that voice, like that, like you want to play a game sort of thing, definitely
Keep
was
going.
something that I think was like preemptive to Saw and stuff
Right.
like that. Is the killer taunting you,
Right.
That's
almost
like another thing with
almost like
Freddy.
holding you guys all on a marionette string.
Right.
And the idea that they know more than you do, and they're gonna get there before you do, and know exactly where you're gonna go.
It's like another perspective of Freddy. What he does, like
Right.
he makes fun of you with your thoughts because
Right.
he's in your dream.
And what's funny is like the Scream followed Nev Campbell for the first like 4 or 5 movies, and then she
Yeah.
disappeared for a little bit. But they find ways to bring them all back. Have you seen the recent one? Scream, I think 8 or 9.
I've seen. I don't know if I've seen the most recent one. The one where they're killing the franchise.
Oh, I love the fact that,
that
they were
was-
like legacy characters are no longer safe,
Which is good because we need fresh blood in the
right?
franchise. You can't really.
Well, do we kill Jamie Lee Curtis in the next movie? Did they kill her off?
No, she's fine.
She's safe. Everybody else can go.
Well, the thing is I wouldn't have minded if anything didn't revolve around Jamie Lee Curtis.
Right.
Because it hadn't. Because if you think about like Halloween 4, like Curse of Michael Myers, Return of Michael Myers, there's like this idea of, oh, there's the little girl in the one of them, and then they didn't really sit and circulate around Jamie Lee Curtis until like age 20.
Right.
Where they're like, hey, remember Jamie Lee Curtis? Remember
Right.
the Scream Queen?
Right.
She got her start with Halloween. Here she is again when she's oh God, was she in age 20? Like a teacher. She works at a school.
Right.
Or something. And then Michael is her brother in that timeline. Or Resurrection, where they're like on a, like it's like a reality show.
Yeah.
Oh, that was the best one. That was the best. And that's the thing about a good franchise is that you can laugh with it and be scared with it.
And like with me and Chucky, it is all ludicrous. It's all the dumbest stuff you could do in horror right now. But I love them for it. Like I love
Right.
everything that they're doing because there's a certain care that they take with the character in the franchise. It's like we know it's campy and it's crazy meta, but that's what I want.
And there's something to be said about like when you're a trailblazer in something, you're going towards all this meta stuff,
Right.
and you already got there.
Right.
So now everybody else is trying to do meta, and Chucky's always like, "Hey, we've already gotten this far. We need to go a couple steps more, and we know we can because we know where we're going."
Right.
And other franchises kind of struggle with that, where they get to meta and it gets corny and
Right.
boring and
or forced.
very forced.
Leatherface,
Yes, I watched the first movie.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Yeah,
So you actually watched the first one?
yeah. by myself.
From, what was that, 73?
Yeah, it's early.
Yeah.
He's more creepy than horror.
Like that hillbilly, like, backwoods, like, that's some creepy stuff, man.
Well,
With,
that's what
like-
everybody's afraid of. Is you think about like hillbillies and everything's all these backwards people. They're probably gonna murder us.
Right.
The skulls and like the deer heads on the walls. That iconic scene where he opens the door, grabs her, and closes it.
Like, and then he's running around with the chainsaw.
Yeah.
Like,
When he misses and he starts like swinging and like I don't know what it was, but
Kind of reminds you of being in like Resident Evil when the chainsaw guys are coming
Right.
after you, and you just feel that panic even though you're just playing a video game.
right?
Like they almost hit you, and you're still like, oh god, what am I doing?
How many movies were there?
there's a lot of remakes, just like all horror movies.
Yeah, that's the problem with Texas Chainsaw Massacre. There wasn't really a story, so they kind of...
It was just some dumb kids fell into a car, broke down, walks to the nearest house,
Yeah.
and everybody's going to kill everybody.
Leatherface is like, oh, it's backwards
Yeah.
family. There's not really a lot to go on.
But still iconic.
Yeah, they did that in, oh god, what was it? Like, Last House on the Left or something, where it was like backwards hillbilly nonsense.
Yeah.
They try to cash in on the Texas Chainsaw thing without having Texas Chainsaw Massacre
Right.
attached to it.
Yeah, like I said though, he's more like creepy though because like that scene at the dinner table when they're all like when she's like screaming for help and they're just like laughing at her and they're like the grandpa there like that's like dead. I don't really know. Like having her like I don't know what he did, but like it was weird because I was like
Right.
half asleep watching it.
Well,
but
and you could imagine yourself in that situation where you're the only person who's like, this is crazy, help me, what's going on? And everybody's acting like this horrible thing that's happening to you is super normal.
yeah,
And like the real horror is like there's no empathy out there for
Right.
me, and there's nobody here who's gonna shed a tear if this dude like rips me apart.
Right. Pennywise. Stephen King's It. You've only, Liam's only seen the current remake, what was it, 2000?
2000,
Or 2020.
2017 for the
2017, 2020.
for it for and then it part 2 is in 2020.
Oh, it took him 3 years?
Yeah, it took a while. Because I remember the kids look a little bit like they looked older.
Yeah.
It's the one problem with like shooting with real kids.
Right. And trying to carry
They're
them over.
gonna start changing very quick. They did the same thing with Stranger Things,
Yeah.
where they went from looking like little kids to looking like
That's why they have to keep the timeline so tight and try to get them out as far. No, that's why they age up the time. So
Right.
that way, as they're growing older, they're like, we're jumping 3, 4, 5, 6 years ahead. So that way we can kind of keep the time and the age looking similar. I liked the original Stephen King.
I think we're gonna watch that tonight. So
Yeah, the 89, 90-ish.
it was like
made
a
for
mini.
TV.
I was like mini series made for TV, as all Stephen King things are
Yes.
supposed to be.
But who played the original Pennywise?
Tim Curry,
Tim Curry.
and he did it. Okay, he does look horrifying.
which one's scarier though?
2017. Like Tim Curry's not that scary.
No, but
But when I was a kid, it was super scary.
because the way he played it, like his voice and the way he was just like stocky and just standing there, like it was scary. Obviously, the new one's a little bit scary because you were able to like CGI like bigger teeth and like a bigger
And there was like
character.
different effects that came into the 2017 one where it like you could have like, oh, there's like 1,000 burnt hands coming out of this door. You couldn't do that back in like the 80s or early 90s. It would just look silly. So you basically have to work with the makeup you have.
Right.
And it's made for TV, so the budget is probably pretty low.
Right, but it's still like I think we could agree that in the late 80s, early 90s, Stephen King's It is the reason why the majority of the population hates clowns.
Yes.
Oh, of course. Before that, it was like, oh yeah, it's just a clown costume.
Right, it's like I had aunts. I had an aunt that collected clowns, and it was like, okay, they're weird.
Well, there's that, and there's like, what is it, John Wayne Gacy, who dressed up as a
Yeah.
clown. But
Like they were there, and you never liked them, but all of a sudden, like it comes out.
it went from there's a small population who's just strangely afraid of clowns to pretty much everyone hates clowns.
Right, because they're taking George's little brother.
Yeah,
and we
it's
all float
scary.
down here.
Whimsy, no.
Fascinating, like the cultural impact that Pennywise has for like the books. It's like Stephen King doesn't write a small book.
Of course not. Well, no, he has written some small ones, but I guess most of the time it's...
But like the made for
Dude, have
TV
you
series.
read the book though?
I have not. There's no way I'm going to read a Stephen King.
Bro, listen to the podcast or something,
Right.
or audiobook or whatever it is, because it's very strangely different than the movies.
Right.
And yeah, it's scary.
I don't know if like his style of writing it would I don't know. I've never read any of his stuff. I think I'm more deterred from the length of it of his books, where I'm like I'm not gonna listen to a 32-hour audio book or try to read 600 pages.
He's a really big famous author. What's the other one? Goosebumps.
R.L. Stein?
Yeah. I feel like those are the two main big like scary books. Like
Dean
right.
Koontz and Stephen King take up probably 4 bookshelves
Yeah.
of every bookstore. Because Dean Koontz is like Stephen King, but he writes just so many books.
I've never
Not
heard
as
of them.
good, but they're so
entertaining.
I really like his Odd Thomas series, but that's not horror, so...
But yeah, for Pennywise to kind of have like, I guess it's just the fact that he scared everybody away from clowns. I guess that would make his
Well, Stephen King is just out there just shotgunning, and occasionally he'll hit somebody.
Right.
Like, he'll write Firestarters, and everybody's like, I don't care.
Right.
And he'll write Misery, and everybody's like, oh my god, that was crazy.
Right.
That had a great cultural impact on our idea of like how fans interact with, the people that they admire.
right.
And then he'll write Daybreakers. Nobody wants to see that.
Stephen King though is actually he has a program set up where he will sell you the license for one of his stories for $1. So like if you have a school project and you want to do an interpretation of Christine or It, you mail him $1 and he'll give you the rights to do a production of whatever you want with that theme. And he does it because he wants to see what other people will do.
I think at this point, when he goes to bed in his pile of money
Yeah.
and rips up his pile of money to his chin to cover him, he's
like,
like, I don't really need to
Right.
care about that.
This is my philanthropy.
I bet you he didn't sell it to the people who made the It 2017 movie for $1.
Oh no, for sure. Candyman. What do we know about Candyman?
I know he has bees coming out of his mouth.
Yeah, that's part of it. They don't really bring that in the Jordan Peele version until like the very end.
Did he have one of the versions of saying his name in the mirror?
Yeah, that was part of it. Is that you like your Candyman,
Yeah.
like a Beetlejuice type thing.
Right.
And the Jordan Peele version was very interesting. It was not as scary as I thought it was going to be, which was kind of disappointing because I was hoping it was going to be super
Right.
scary. But it really made me think about like how that like slashers could be remade into something that's more modern
Right.
and watchable now. Because
Because he didn't have a huge franchise.
No, Candyman didn't really have a big franchise. It's like Pumpkinhead,
Right.
where you're like, it just became lost. It was just one of those off-brand Kmart slasher films.
It was something other than the big three.
Right, and then, but it's interesting watching somebody revive something like
Right.
that into something that people actually really want to watch.
Right. And somehow
And of
it's
course, that
better
was
than the
because of
original.
Jordan Peele.
Right. Oh, that guy's doing some weird stuff and great stuff in the horror genre right now.
Oh yeah, Us was really good. Get Out wasn't. It was medium scary.
More of a commentary on
More of a
socialism
commentary
or-
on social issues, but I'm excited to see what he does next.
What was the one with the cowboy?
Shoot.
The most recent one.
Nope.
Nope.
That one was
fun.
great. That one was great, but it felt less like a horror movie and more like I don't know, like an action movie almost.
Almost.
But it was definitely fun.
He's
Almost
definitely
like
got a
action comedy.
Yeah.
It was really funny and really fun and tense at times.
Right. Well, I mean, and he's doing great things right now.
Well, I feel like he goes with a creative vision and is not like really watching the rest of the trends
Right.
that are going on and just going with whatever he wants to do. If he wants to
He's
do like a
doing more like a-
Candyman remake, he'll do it. If
Right.
he wants to do Nope, which is like a alien type movie, go ahead.
like almost more of like almost like a artsy, like almost like an artsy direction on everything. The last thing on our list was Jigsaw. Liam, what do you know about Jigsaw?
The kills.
The kills.
I remember watching it at a friend's house, and like the first thing I saw was some guy's brain was like open, and it's like then like doing something with his brain. It's like it was just super weird and creepy. Or like, isn't there the one where like they have the little thing on your head, right? That's
right.
And it like I forget, but I just remember there's.
It's like tied to your mouth, and then once the timer goes off, it rips your mouth open all the way up.
Basically, open your jaw.
Probably the beginning of the gore porn era, where they're just like, we're just gonna gruesomely kill everything.
Yeah, and they're hard to watch. Like, they're hard to watch in a way that a actually well-crafted story, like, driven horror movie is not.
Because you're right, though. It's just like a let's kill everybody in the most gruesome
like the one where they throw the girl into the pit of needles.
Right.
I've literally felt it. I was like, I almost got out of my chair.
Right.
It was.
Oh, there was this one where it's they had to put like heroin in their body or something, and like I think it was Saw 4, but like they had to put like it was just super weird kills in like all of the movies, but were creative too.
It was creative, and it's definitely it's part of its like subgenre of what horror is, because like they're interesting. It's weird. They pump them out like crazy. Number 10 just came out.
But Jigsaw is just he's not as interesting to me as a villain, because his whole motivation is, I'm dying, so I hate people who don't appreciate their lives because I don't have that much life left.
Or you cut me off once, and I'm gonna like
if you don't appreciate your life, I'm gonna kill you in a horrific way. Like, holy crap, dude! I didn't put my cart back at the grocery store, and now I'm here diving into a pool of needles to get a key. That's insane. But they make it they don't make it sound as insane as that. They make it sound like, oh yeah, it's totally, he just wants people to appreciate life.
Right.
You know how it is.
Well, and it's weird because like there is almost no. I don't know what the story is. I know that there's an old man dying, and then again I don't know by movie 10 what he's still killing people for. But that little guy on the bike, iconic. He made the list.
Yeah, a little tricycle.
All right. So those are top 9 horror icons
all together.
Liam, your top 3.
Well, okay, let's do all of our 3s and then all of our 2s and then all of our 1s. 3 for me is probably Jason. It. 2 is Pennywise. No, 3 is Pennywise.
Okay.
Sorry.
Wonder what his number 2 is.
Oh wow.
What is gonna happen? Oh, doing it this way is insane.
I know.
Starting with 3 is too hard. I'm gonna go with Freddy for 3.
I'm gonna go Ghostface.
Okay. What?
I like the bringing back and I like the team manipulation, like the stuff. I like it. I like me some screams. I fell off for a minute, and I came back in with the new ones. Your number 2.
It's not Jason.
Okay.
They're fighting for 3 and 4.
Okay.
Is Chucky, not the 3rd movie.
All right, Chucky.
Not Child's Play 3.
So against the 3rd movie,
Because it sucked.
We're gonna have a whole podcast episode breaking that down.
Right.
Feels like it traumatized him.
Did because it sucked.
No, Ghostface is definitely my 2.
Ooh. I have to go Chucky too.
Yeah.
I have to go Chucky on my number 2. I love that thing, man.
Is Freddy your 1?
Freddy's. Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I'm obviously number 1. Who's your 1?
1. Freddy.
And who's your number 1?
Halloween.
Michael Myers.
Michael Myers.
Whimsy.
Don't hate the originals.
Awesome.
Whimsy.